Is heat the complete devil? Is it the complete enemy? Hi everyone, welcome back to my mini universe, my channel. And if you're new here, hey girl, and if you're an old subscriber, feels good to say that. Welcome back. So we are going to be talking about heat. And is heat bad? Is it the complete enemy? Is it a friend you can keep at a safe distance? Or maybe, just maybe, it's something you shouldn't even be doing at all. So this video is basically just an educational video talking about heat, and is it bad, is it good, is it your friend, is it your best friend? And before I jump into the video, I just want to shout out to all my friends that have been supporting me in this mini journey of mine that I have begun and everything. I'm just so excited because I never expected it.
I'm happy because I never expected it, but God gave it to me.
Just filled with joy and all that good stuff, and all those friends that have been giving me tips, things to talk about. Thank you. You guys are the best. But anyways, let's jump right into it. Is heat the complete enemy? Well, I'm going to talk about my experience. I won't talk about anybody else because we're about to get Coilies with your girl MJ. But yeah, so about me, MJ Omwamba, my hair type and my own hair. I used to use excessive heat a lot, like a lot. From the time I was a kid. Basically it's because of my mom. My mom has relaxed hair, so she doesn't like seeing hair that can be long if it's straightened look short. And you know how water be doing as naturals. Moist water moving in a moist place, or where there's moisture in the air and everything, or that a humid place can just shrink up your little hair and everything. And my mother really hated that, so she would take me to the blower from the time I was a kid up until 16, 17. I started taking myself to the blower because that's all I knew. Whenever my hair was in its shrunken state, I didn't like it, so I would go to the blower all the time. I'd go to the salon, get it pressed. I used to do the damn thing with the blower, and I didn't know that I was ruining my hair, right? And because for example, like me, who's a type 4, I have coily hair. But even curly hair can be damaged by heat, though. Don't get deceived just because you're a 3A or a 3B or a 3C or whatever. You think heat can get to you. Sis, it can get to you. Let's take, for instance, a spring, right? Let's take it back to physics. A spring. We've all seen how a spring is, right? And we know how a spring works. Ain't no mathematical equation hard to solve here. But yeah, a spring. But then, when you stretch that spring too hard, right in the center of the spring, it will like straighten, and that means there'll be a distortion in the spring, right? The mechanism that it had before will not be there. It will be now split. There will be that distortion in the middle of the spring, and then it will be coily in the other side, isn't it? Meaning that distortion has been created. It's now like that on one side, and then it's just like that in the middle. And that's the same example or illusion I'm trying to paint with hair also. It's a coil. So the more you keep on adding excess heat to it, the more the curl starts to deform and lose shape. And that's how you get something that's called heat damage, sis. And it's real. It's real. It's not even a joke. It's something that's really bad to your hair, because now you've just completely killed the spring. You, my sister, are a spring killer. You have just killed the coil and everything. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about, the heat. So for me, I got heat damage because I was out there blowing it twice in a week, once, 3 times in, I don't know, 2 days. I even used to tone my hair, and toning is a whole nother a whole nother game, because you know when you're toning your hair, you can legit hear it snapping some parts of your hair. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. As long as my hair looks flawless, I can just whip it and just be feeling cute. And everyone asking me like, oh, is that your hair, sis? Like, girl, where you been? since 2001. So yeah. Sorry. But yeah, heat is really, it's really the damn thing. But like the question that we have been asking, is it the enemy? It can be. Can it be your friend that you keep at a distance? It can be. So the negatives about heat and using it way too much is because it can give you heat damage. And can heat damage be repaired? Can it be restored? Can your hair be restored? We're going to talk about that in the conclusion, if it can be restored. But heat damage can be caused, and it can happen with excessive heat. Just like I explained about the spring, same logic. There will be that distortion. And with hair, it's even worse, right? Because now, because of that distortion, that distortion keeps on growing, and that's how your hair takes in root. It will just become bone straight. Like when I would wash my hair, it would just, yes, it would shrink. Shrinking, it would still shrink because it's still natural hair. But then it was so hard. It was hard. I never ever saw any curl pattern whatsoever. And a lot of people used to tell me, girl, stop using the heat. Stop. And I hated those people that used to come tell me that, because remember, heat is something I knew. It's all that I knew. Like there's nothing else that I knew apart from heat. You know what I'm saying? And then someone walks up to me like, sis, you gotta stop. And I'm like, bro, do it to your hair. Last time I checked, this is my head, my rules. And I started to hate these people who just tell me about heat, but then thank you to everybody that actually tried to convince me. So bacha, heat damage. Heat damage comes in and it kicks in and it's really bad. And I just kept on blowing it. You can imagine, for I don't know how many years I had just been blowing. And that's just all I knew. So then, apart from the major thing, it does really mess up your hair, and it just damages the curl pattern. And now your hair, from its natural state, instead of it looking curly, coily, it's just bone, flat, straight. It's just straight, and it's just taken root, and that's just how it is. And that's how it can be your enemy, because it's damaged your hair. And for that time, for me, realization came about last year, August, when I was like, you know what, let me try this natural hair stuff. Let me try to stop using heat. Let me try. It was very hard, because honestly, heat is all I knew. It was my best friend. It was my comrade, my nigga, Bali, Gutsa, Brav. It was everything to me. So it was very hard to let go. But if you don't let go of it, it can be the enemy. And how can heat be your friend, right? The same way heat damage happens and all that stuff, there's also heat protectants. You can buy a heat protectant, like before blowing your hair, you can put a heat protectant and blow it out. And you can also use different methods, not the way we just go straight in with all that excess heat and just, doing the damn thing. No, you can use the tension method. Tension method is like getting part of your hair, and then like while you have the heat protectant on, you are blowing it, like you are just using your hands, you're pulling it, and the blower is like at a safe distance, or blowing your hair at a cool setting, not that really hot one where you can feel your scalp getting fried in there. But yes, the other way you can use heat is while deep conditioning. I put on a cap and just use the heat on top. Like for me, that's low porosity. I use a blower because it's hard for moisture to get trapped in and everything. I'll be talking about low porosity and everything in my next video. you need to use heat to get that moisture to be trapped into your hair and all that stuff. Heat can be a good friend that you keep at a safe distance, but it can also be an enemy. So where do you stand? Where should your standpoint be? I think you can keep heat as your friend, like your friend that you keep at a safe distance, because heat is not the enemy. You make it the enemy because it's how you use it. It's like a knife, right? A knife is dangerous, but it can be helpful. You can cut onion, you can cut tomato, you can cut other things. But if you use a knife to slit your wrists, then what picture are you painting for the knife, right? It becomes a complete enemy. It's the devil. And that's the same thing and the same analogy I'm using here with heat, right? It can be your friend, because for me it is my friend. Believe you me, I didn't blow my hair for it to look like this. I did that threading so that I can not get heat damage again, because heat damage is not your friend. Like, yeah, and there's even other ways to straighten your hair. You can twist it out. The twisting will give you that definition that we saw in that my first video, my intro video. You can do a braid out. It can still stretch your hair. You can like I said, straighten it using cotton, the threading method. There's many other ways. And then I said in my conclusion, I'm going to talk about how you can repair your hair or your heat damaged hair. For me, what I did is I stopped, though it was hard. I stopped excessive heat. Like I stopped. I had to get comfortable with my shrunken hair, because see, what's the whole point of having long hair if anybody can see it? Everybody's just like, you cut your hair, and I'm like, no, it's just shrunk, and it's hard to explain. It's like, what you mean hair like this, in our hair like that, but but then it can be fixed. You can take your hair back to where it used to be before you got heat damage. So I stopped using heat. I invested in a lot of aloe vera, because aloe vera is good for repairing broken or hair with so much breakage and a lot of heat damage. I use a lot of oils and aloe vera, and I just listened on the heat. I took some break from the heat, learned how to style my hair when it shrunk, try little cute things like little cute small puffs and everything. And I think I also stopped caring about people's opinions about my hair, and people that would ask me, is your hair cut? You've let your hair go. And I just kept on saying the same thing. Like, I just stopped using heat, because in my heat, really skinny.
Really skinny.
Really skinny. Oh, you been calling alone. Those people that are busy telling you, no, blow your hair, no. Your hair gonna be good and yours gonna be damaged. Period. Ain't no mathematical equation to explain that. No, it will be on you, not anybody else. So sis, heat can be your friend at a safe distance, and heat can also be the devil, depending on how you use it, depending on you. So that's how you can repair it. Just listen on the heat, like take a break, start to put in good stuff into it, start feeding your hair, put in that product, leave-in in conditioners, deep condition your hair, do some DIYs, you know what I'm saying, get that nutrient back, and avoid having your hair dry, because it's at a shrunken state. It can be prone to breaking more even at that stage. And then just kiss heat, goodbye. So I think that's it for today. I hope I've helped someone out. Remember, heat can be your friend, using it wisely, tension method, using it while deep conditioning if you're low porosity, helping your curls dry, but like doing it at a safe distance and all that stuff. And then it can also be the enemy if you're always doing excessive heat. Like, there's that overblowing. A blowout, maybe it can be better. Overblow, where your hair just drops, that one is bad. It's not your friend. Don't be deceived. It's not your friend. It's not. That one is the worst. You've just stretched like a spring to the fullest. It's just like You can't even recognize if it's a spring or not or anything like that. But it can be the enemy. Make the wise decision and follow MJ. Just keep heat at a safe distance. Not the complete enemy, but it can be. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to your girl. Tell a friend that we are Coily this side, and you know we don't play. I mean, sis, look at that. Look at that. Like, it's not true. It's not true. Oh, and sometimes, sorry, I forgot to say this. If your heat damage is really, really bad, you just have to cut some of your hair out to start again. So don't befriend heat. Don't make it your best friend. Just keep her at a safe distance. You know, so like, well, we cool, but we're not that cool. We're not that tight. We're not buddy, coochie, everything. No. But if you hold her so close to your heart, sis, when you're trying to repair that damage, sometimes you gotta cut it, because that price is way too high. You will have to cut it. Simple. But anyways, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Mwah. Bye.